Another episode of something on a Wednesday. Long day, fun day. I'm pooped. I don't have anything open. I just came down here, so Avada. Love that thing. That I can't wait to do like a full review on that. But today's tip, I guess you could call it tech, because today's idea is, or suggestions, or my recommendations is about editing. I'm just gonna leave it closed for nostalgic purposes, opening and showing the editor. And when you have a project, so if you're just going out to fly without any intent, and you just want to throw that flight together, that's one thing. You just pick a song that fits to it, and you slap it together. Boom, you've got an edit. If you have, I'm going to use the word project, a project in mind. If you're going to a location to get a whole bunch of shots, here's where the recommendation comes in. And I'm learning this from the Avada. So I am averaging 15 minutes of flight time. Actual flying, not hovering, flying time with this. So that is a lot of video. That is 15 minutes of video. And what this is teaching me is, number one, I can take my time and get certain shots and ignore what's in between, or just go out and fly for that 15 minutes based on, where the mind tells you to go. And then you compress all of that 15 minutes into 3. And that's led me to a very significant different thought process when it comes to editing. But given the chance to get certain shots, and we all need to learn as flyers that not every second of footage is gold. Not every second is like, ooh, wow. Even some of those gaps and, cool transitions and stuff that we shoot are not necessarily kick-ass or would fit the edit that you want to do. And again, maybe with the intent of your flight versus the song you find. So things change along the way. So I am learning myself and now sharing with you. Oh, and I got another thing to talk about that. You don't have to use all of the footage. Again, with 15 minutes of footage, nobody wants to watch 15 minutes of footage unless it was climbing a mountain or something like that. I got some really sick footage flying at this place, Summers Mill Pond, where I've done a bunch of videos. You've seen me fly over the dock. One of my first really kick-ass intros came from there. And I flew underneath the dam. I shouldn't say that, underneath the dam. I flew underneath the bridge, and then came out over the top of the dam and then went way, can't see my hand, way back into it. And that process and time going back there, not all of that time spent getting there, I think anybody wants to see. So that's where the neatness comes in with the edit. And how can you cut out sections of that and show highlights of your flight using transitions and the right type of song. So my recommendation and tech tip is to make sure that you use, if you're flying something like this and you can get all that flight time, that's great. But if you're flying the traditional Cinewhoop, and like my traditional Cinewhoop Pickles gets about 5 or 6 minutes, which if you get all of those shots or it's just one awesome weave through the trees, then you've got plenty. And then usually that can be cut down or sped up or slowed down to kind of contrast into what you want for an edit. But I suggest that you always fly more at the same spot, so you can get some B-roll maybe, or one thing I like to do is I'll fly one pack with intent of what I want to do, certain shots, certain gaps, transitions, whatever, and then the second pack I just let loose and do whatever the hell I want. And then I'll use one as like my main flight, and then if there's chops in the song and stuff like that, I'll use the second. And if even it's a whole 6 minutes, maybe I'll only get 30 seconds out of it to cut up into that edit. So, not every second is golden. That's kind of like the gist of it. Once you come up with a premise for your edit, if project, not just a one take, don't be afraid to chop. And I save all of my footage unless it's just a you know, tiny whoop through the yard thing, unless there was something epic in there. I won't save that, but all the other stuff, I have a jump drive. Where the hell is it? It's hidden back here somewhere. I'm not going to get to it now. There it is. So I've got an extra terabyte or 2 terabyte, whatever the hell it is. So all of my edits, once they're done, get put on there, and some of the raw flights that I want to save maybe to use for an intro, outro, or just when I can no longer fly, I can look back at my progression and whatnot. And as an added bonus, it's not a tech tip, it's a thank God it saved my ass. I do my prep. I wanted to go out and do this flight at Summers Mill Pond, and I rushed out of the house, making sure my battery was charged. I had limited time. Guess what was still on the laptop? I left home without it. And when I came home and I popped the little compartment that all these knuckleheads are bitching about and how horrible the spot it is and how hard it is to get the SD card out. Won't even get into that again. It's simple. It's simple to get out, even with the prop on. There's such a. I might even do a video on how quickly you can get in and out. Anyway, it's got like 20 gigs or something like that built in on board. And when I popped here to get the SD card out, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a slot there." So I plugged it into my laptop. The laptop recognized it. And there was actually a couple files on there. Some from farting around, setting it up, and just pushing the record button and playing with buttons. And then the 3 clips, because the Vada likes, it's like 5 minutes, 10 seconds or something. So it cuts up the clips into multiples instead of one. I'd actually prefer one, but I guess there's a pro too, splitting it up. So I forgot that it had internal storage, and it saved my ass. And I'm glad, because I got some really kick-ass footage. And I have a great idea. And as I was reviewing that footage, I'm going, there's no way, again, that anybody's going to want to watch all of that footage. This isn't a damn National Geographic documentary. So I'm going to try to cut out, cut up, and highlight, and not treat every second of footage as gold. I hope that makes sense. I hope y'all understand that, because I know when reviewing footage, at least for me, I'm like, oh, I want to save that. I don't want to cut that out, or how do I speed this up so I can get that? If you've got enough, then you can always make another edit out of, if you have enough footage, you know, down the road, take what's left over and you could always make another edit. Doesn't have to be the end of the world. So that's only 8 minutes. Not too much of a rant today. Hope you guys are all doing well. Share your thoughts on this conversation and any methods to the madness that you use, and that may help others, because that's why we're here, to help. So on that note, back at it, getting some stuff done. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.